हिस्ट्री ऑफ द इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड लिटरेचर यूनिट 3 पढ़ रहे हैं। इसके आगे यू अनस्टेड syllabus a rule which is common in most Indo-European languages is that with the linguistic evaluate unstructured syllabus in the linguistic then to despair. For example, the word field friend in Albanian is mic compared with Latin. It's milkos, as we can say. Stress on the Latin words is on the second syllable. Thus, Albanian has retained the straight part of the word milk. So we can say that Albanian and Latin have a common ancestor. They have gone through a similar linguistic process. Albanian is an isolated language within the Indo-European language family. It has evolved from the Proto-Indo-European. The Albanian is the sole occupant of its one branch of the Indo-European language family. The Albanian language is connected to the Illyrian language, which was spoken in the region throughout of years ago, but since it has gone extinct, we did not get that much sample to compare. Armenian is a single language speaker of Armenian reside at stand throughout and Armenian as either as the 6th century BC, but the oldest Armenian text date from the 5th century BC. Armenian is spoken in the century the modern state of Armenian, but it is also used to be spoken in Turkey. It has two of its own major dialects, West and East Armenian, West being spoken mostly by the international community, and East being spoken within Armenian by its people within the Indo-European family. Armenian may by considered an isolated group. It does not share a lot of grammatical similarities to the Indo-Aryan branch of the family. Armenian is a new language. The first written accounts of Armenian is only about 500 AD, which is about 3500 years. Armenian occupies its one branch of the Indo-European language family a measure that even throughout it's related to other Indo-European languages. It is known to have its one language related linguistic of today. Armenian is very much live. There are about 120 million speakers of Armenian, while others live in Armenian operated future of Armenian. Armenian has a very large constituent environment. There are 34 consonant sound is the Armenian language, even more if we take into account the other sounds that are used in Armenian dialects. Comparing that with 24th century constant sounds of English, Armenian is a fairly fantastical device language. Armenian also has a subject, object, verb order. It has no grammatical gender, but seven non-case bolted seven families into groups: Baltics and Slavians. Baltic groups compares old Persian literature and Latin is important because it is very conservative by natural and has preserved some of the Indo-European feathers which have dispersed from the other languages. Selving groups comparison regions belongers Serbians, Kazakh and Polish. The strange form of Slavic is known as Church Slavics or Old Belgrade. Baltic languages are some group of languages that are spoken in Northern Europe. The main language of this branch and native and literature. These two languages diverged quite a while ago, hence they are not totally intelligible. Baltic language perceive things that are common factors in Slavic language, but it is also one of the first branches to break off from Indo-European, possibly constituting them as some of the oldest languages in the world spoken today. Baltic language used to be extremely widespread throughout Central Europe, mainly throughout the language proceed. The Prussian Empire used to control most of Germany, but have since receded into their humble about our relative and literal and even parts of Eastern civil language constitution the vast majority of the regions in Eastern European, Southern Europe, parts of Central Europe, and in several languages can be traced back to old church 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 Sabling. It was used for literally proposed in Slavic Europe over time with the widespread expression of Slavic prepare the old church Slavian language diversity into multiple languages. Now we can trade and group them into three sphere groups: West Slav and South Slav group. West Slav the West Slav language mainly constitute Croats, Polish, and Serbs. It also has a unique minority language called Sorbian, spoken in Germany. Throughout language were often multilingually intelligible, especially casual and solved because even until the 90s they were considered on macro language. They have their difference. They are different amounts to be considered different language, and Polish itself was influenced a lot by altered self-perceptions, sounds like, and which a lot of other self languages don't have. West Slav, the East Slav language constitution, Belgrade, Belgrade, and regeneration is a principle of most wicked spoken Slav language. It is being spoken all the way from areas bordering on million miles from Alps in the until straight to region of Eastern like Altai, Moldova, and belongs where it is spoken as a linguistic family rank reference. Many a language is used for trade and in-trade thing communicate so Belarus, Russian, Ukrainians, and even a language called Russian, which is spoken in the corporation, is solved. All these Eastern European languages are Mutalian intelligible to some extent, but still enjoy to be considered as a different language, and they have diverged a lot in recent history of tensions. They solve language are written use the character spares which action argument for a South Slav language called belong belong